included Dr. King.
Sure.
So you had the two.
But Dr. King also got murdered before the fight really got ugly.
That I would have to look up to confirm.
I don't know exactly. It may be a statement that I've said prematurely, but
I'm not exactly sure when he was killed. I don't know if it because. Could you look that up?
60.
Yeah, look up when King was killed. Please.
There were all kinds of things in the civil rights movement that were quiet. You know, I think the march, the Montgomery March, 1968. So,
68.
Black is Beautiful started in the 70s, and I think a lot of really.
Well, you had the free love and the rainbow bands and the beads and the hippies and all of that.
Flower power.
Yeah, flower power.
Flower power.
Yeah.
There's an iconic image of this girl with the daisy in her hair, and then she was putting the daisy in the right.
Oh yeah. But
I'd like to see that in person. I don't know why it's silly, but I've always.
I really don't think I would like to be looking down the barrel of a gun in person, but that's just me.
Well,
I mean, you're welcome,
You're welcome to look down mine.
Well, I don't know, Richard. I've heard that you don't like girls.
I don't. So, Michelle.
But you do like chicken, and you like my chicken, apparently, from what I've heard.
Chicken is good chicken. If it's good chicken, I'm going to like good chicken. How does a woman like you feel about gay marriage?
Well, we discussed this the other day. My position is the constitutional position, which is it's a states' rights issue. If the state legislature, through the will of the people, say yes, no, I'm fine with it. But I'm not fine with it if the legislature says, people vote on it, and they say yes, no, and then a judge says, you know what, I don't like that I didn't get my way, I'm going to overturn it.
How would you feel if the state of Texas created a law that says if you were born male, you had to stay male and you could not wear women's clothing?
Probably not very good about it.
Wouldn't that make you mad?
Oh, yeah. Probably. But I wouldn't riot in the street and
Why not?
Because that would that would make me look like a fool.
I think the only way that we are now going to get attention is we are going to have to go to every Chick-fil-A and pick it. We are going to have to make it very clear.
I don't have a problem with
we are going to have to make it clear that gay men and women in this country demand our civil rights. We are denied. Did you know that over 29 states in America can fire you just for being gay?
That I did not
know.
And
how many jobs do you think you were denied based on who you are?
But this goes back to what we discussed yesterday. Just because you get fired or laid off, you can't automatically assume, oh, well, they fired me because I'm gay. No, I fired you because you don't have a pilot's license. No, I fired you because this is your 15th DUI, and I'm not going to trust you to drive my trucks.
But what about the case where they find out that you are gay and you are fired for it? In the instance of Ellen DeGeneres, JCPenney is a Texas-based corporate office.
Yep, it's out by Frisco, I believe.
It's in.
It's off 380. I know where it is. It's out by Plano, Frisco.
And at that moment, they could have said, "Ellen, you're fired."
They could have.
And in that event, really, Ellen has absolutely no ramification because in the state of Texas, you can fire anyone for being gay.
No, you can fire. Texas is a right to work state.
Correct.
You can fire anyone for any
reason. But in this particular instance, because so many groups came out and said
you can't automatically ascribe the motive to.
But in this particular instance, we really could have, because Ellen was
because you're making assumptions.
I am making assumptions, but it happens all the time.
Again, you can't automatically assume that in a right-to-work state, if someone is fired, it's automatically because they're black. It's automatically because they're a woman. It's automatically because they're gay.
Right.
No, it could be a multitude of other reasons. It could be a history of coming in late every single day.
I'm going to give you my own personal experience. I know for a fact that I got fired from a job in Auburn, Alabama, simply because I was gay. And that's know this.
But again, that's your personal experience.
Alabama has
is dog the real redneck.
Is another state.
Not in a bad way. Just boy, there's country down there.
There certainly is. However, Alabama is another state that can fire you for being gay, and I am confident
because they're a right-to-work state.
I don't think they're a right-to-work state.
Yes, they are.
Alabama's
a right-to-work state.
I'm not sure of that, but
I'm
know specifically in 1984 I was fired simply for the fact that I was
most
gay.
of the southern states are right to work, from about Kentucky down and across. California's a mix. It's a union state mostly. Because you've got because you've got Hollywood, the Actors Guild, and all of that. But most of your southern states are right to work, which is actually much better.
Alabama is an employment at will state.
Employment at will?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right to work.
However, I know in 1984, this man fired me simply for the fact that I was gay. Mm-hmm. He didn't like it from the minute I got there, and he figured out a way to get rid of me. And that was simply because I was gay. Now, it is not on my work employment history.
That
he would never put that on there. But I know that's why I got fired.
But it's not a crime to be a bigot. It's really...
And why isn't it?
It's sad.
Why isn't it?
It's sad that someone's, like that. But it's not a crime.
So Don Cathy is a bigot?
Depends on your definition, but probably.
Don Cathy is a bigot in my eyes.
And you're perfectly within your rights to say so.
And Don Cathy does not deserve any of my money. And I won't give him any of my money.
And you are also perfectly within your rights to do so.
And I am sure that at some course during the day I am giving my money to people who are bigoted. However, the difference between what Chick-fil-A is doing is they are making it very public. And so I think today, if you are serving the public, you've got to be serving the public. You can't be just serving the people that you choose to serve.
I would agree that in this day and age, with the internet, how fast rumors can be spread, true or false, it doesn't matter your position, policy, or political affiliation, rumors, and they're all over the map. So I can appreciate that in this day and age, you would want to make the smart marketing decision and say, you know what, I don't care what you look like, and I don't care where you're from. Your money's good here. But there are some people that are, for whatever reason, unwilling to make that marketing decision. Now, JCPenney said, you know what, honey, if I don't care what you look like. Please come buy my product. And that's smart from a marketing and economic position. They may get some grief because some people say, well, they like this group or they like that. They have a preference for X, Y, or Z group. But
and I get it. I mean, if you have a preference for the straight world, you are opening yourself up to probably more wallets.
Oh,
there are more straight people in the world than there are gay people. So, I understand.
For a marketing position, yes.
But to take a stand against... Would Chick-fil-A be allowed to say, we support anti-black organizations? if Chick-fil-A was giving money to the KKK, how many people would be upset about that?
Well, none of the Democrats, because the Democrats created the KKK.
But still.
That was a broadside. I know. Cheap shot. What can I say? It's true.
And I'm sort of gonna ignore it because I think men created it. I don't think Democrats.
No, it actually was. It began. Believe it or not, it began as the enforcement arm of the Democratic Party. It later became.
So it's kind of like the Tea Party is today.
No, the Tea Party doesn't ride around.
Cheap shots.
That was a cheap shot. Touche. We should sit here and practice doing our cheap shots all day long.
Nothing like a good cheap shot. I love a cheap shot.
I do too.
Speaking of cheap shots,
so what's your prices tonight at the Village?
Tonight we got $2 tequila at Station 4.
I'll have to see if I can get a cheap shot from Stacy.
It's actually $2 margaritas. Not cheap shots. Well, being gay, I just don't understand how anyone.
I'm not gay. I'm a woman who likes boys.
I'm talking about myself. Being gay.
Well, you talk about yourself. Look, this is about me, honey. Talk about me.
Right. Okay, well, let's talk about you.
What's that country song? Let's talk about me. It's Trace Atkins.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
No. It's Trace Atkins. It's Trace Atkins. I want to talk about me. We talk about you all the time. It's hysterical.
I don't know it.
Apparently, he's dating some.
Is that the red cup guy?
No, he's wears the hat.
The red cup.
I don't know.
Red cup song.
Do I look country to you? I don't know this stuff.
Talking about country songs.
Yeah, it was just funny because, it was on the radio and he apparently is dating this, super uber hot blonde socialite and, all she does is talk about herself and everything, the world revolves around him and he's sitting out there in the garage, with a beer and he's going, I want to talk about me.
Good for him. But the super hot blonde is going, no, talk about me.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, being a gun-toting... Gun-toting I was going to call you a liberal. Gun-toting conservative.
Mm-hmm.
How do you explain to your girlfriends or your boyfriends at the bar,
my policy position?
Sure, and so how do you deal with some of the people that are angry about it?
Well, my first thought, as I was telling him just a minute ago, when I got here before the show, we were talking about the shooting in the Batman Going Crazy
in the movie theater,
and that it just blows my mind that people can go off the deep end like that. And I thought, I don't agree with you on every policy position, and that's okay. I still admire you, respect you tremendously, and consider you a dear friend. Because I don't agree with you on a policy position or, legislative direction, it doesn't mean that I want you to die or I wish anything ill upon you.
Right. I don't feel that way.
And I see so many people, when you bring up angry, I see so many people and it's like, well, I'm for this. Because there's a lot of liberals especially
that you want are denying me my rights. And
no, I'm only saying that it should be done through the proper constitutional framework.
I hear that.
It's not about the policy.
Right.
It's about the legal and proper way to do it.
But supporting Chick-fil-A and supporting organizations that deny my rights only promote the denial of my rights. And
yes, you can draw that conclusion true.
And so, I'm gonna go on a sideline. I have an employee.
A sideline? Is there chicken over there?
It is a chicken. It's a chicken story.
It's a chicken story.
I have an employee that comes in almost every day with a Chick-fil-A bag.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I know who it is, don't I?
Yes. And he comes in almost every day with it. And you know what? It is his prerogative. He can go shop wherever he wants to shop. And so one day, I pulled up some of the Chick-fil-A stuff. This has been several months, even before this whole Don Cathy thing. I pulled him up. I pulled all this stuff and printed it. And I pulled him into the office, and I said, I'm going to give you all this material to read. It is your decision how you spend your money. But every night that you come into this bar with that bag, you are not only offending me, but you are offending a lot of the employees that work here, because the money that you are spending on this bag is going to promote the denial of the rights of the people who work here and a lot of the people that are coming here. So you can go anywhere you want to and get your dinner, but the minute you bring this bag in, this bag has to stay in the back area and you cannot leave it behind the bar, because I am not going to offend the customers coming in here by saying that this bar and the employees in this bar support bigotry and hate, and people who support programs to deny the rights of the customer base that comes here.
I have two thoughts on that.
Okay.
One is the good management decision or marketing decision, which is this particular company does not support us from a policy perspective. Our clientele, our client base at the Village, may or may not agree with that position, but I'm not willing to take that risk.
Absolutely. I just don't want that bag in visible view.
It's a smart decision from a company or management perspective. I don't want to take the risk of harming my customer base or offending my customer base.
And I certainly don't want him harmed either. Because someone may be drunk and walking in and seeing that bag, and
they may go flying off the handle.
And
which is wrong. Which is absolutely wrong.
Which I don't support either. And the whole guy in the movie theater, poor thing. I mean, I feel bad for the people that got shot, of course.
The second track would be the intimidation. That you would print all this stuff up and you would say, look, I don't know if this is the correct way to phrase it, but you'd lean on him like some mafia don. Now,
I didn't. I told him he could go spend his money anywhere. But here's the material that you can read and make your own decisions. Because this boy is gay.
Oh, yeah.
This boy wants to get married. I know he does. He's told me that, eventually one day he wants to get married. Well, if you do want to get married, I really want you to read this material, because this material will allow you and give you the knowledge that you will be able to make the decision of whether or not you want to spend money there.
The key point is that you're doing two things. You're allowing him to make an informed, you're giving him the information. It's like when the other day we were talking about segregation and slavery and the Republican history of promoting and standing up for civil rights. We have a 200-year history of it. The Democrats don't. I can only give you the information. I can only tell you that it was Wilson, or I can tell you it was Lincoln, or Eisenhower. All of that is irrelevant if you as a person, or you as the audience, choose to ignore it and say, you know what, I don't care.
I want the chicken.
Yeah. Now, if you say, you know what, I'm going to go and look this up, and then you say, wow, my eyes are opened, and now I can make that informed decision. Because that's really the goal. It is not going off half-cocked and saying, you know what, my brother's aunt's uncle's cousin's neighbor who works with this guy down at the bar, who heard from a friend who just got here from Tunisia, that was, after he broke out of jail.
Yeah, who traveled with a felon is what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly. If that's your source of information, you're probably going to not be making good decisions. But if you say, you know what, I don't like Rush Limbaugh, but I'm going to hear what he has to say, or I don't like Laura Ingraham, but I'm going to listen to her. Or Tammy Bruce. I love Tammy Bruce. She's awesome.
I don't like listening to Laura Ingraham. I do.
Well,
like
I actually like Tammy Bruce a little bit more than Laura. She's a gun-toting lesbian, which is hysterical. Her marketing poster actually has her leaning over a desk with a big old .45 in her hand. It's hysterical. And, you know, I love her. She's really sweet.
I don't know her as well.
But the point is, I can only give you the information.
So do you feel like I intimidated him?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe not intimidated, but you have to remember, Richard, you know, you are the general manager.
Oh, sure. And bringing him into the office is another layer.
That would be my point, is that that may have been a little intimidating.
Sure.
Maybe if you'd caught him out back, you know, having a cigarette or something, and said, you know, hey, I really would prefer that you didn't...
The first time we talked at the front door before we opened, and the Chick-fil-A bag was in front of us. And the Chick-fil-A bag, can't be there, and it can't be there even if it was a Pizza Hut bag. I don't want food behind the bar. I don't.
Well, that's a health hazard anyway.
I don't want you walking in $6. You know, I don't want that anyway. So I don't want the food bags behind the desk.
Yeah, keep your lunch pail in the back.
If you're gonna eat here,
eat in the back.
Eat it on a break, and you're eating it in the back. Yeah. And that's simple.
But that's pretty normal. Most companies, you know, they have the break room or whatever in the back. It's like, you know, I don't want you sitting out here at the front desk, filing your nails and chomping on a, you know, Chick-fil-A. Or what? Oh, okay. I don't know. Everybody's looking around like there's gremlins. Do we have gremlins again?
Oh, no. The power did something, and so, I knew that something went off, so I was just, I was making sure that this wasn't going to go off because another power went off.
Oh, I thought it was the gremlins again. Like yesterday.
It was Chick-fil-A gremlins.
It was the Chick-fil-A gremlins.
I think part of my job also, because it is so social, and because of who I am in the community and what I do in the community, I do think that a portion of my job is to nurture and to educate the new kids coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And
well, I do the same. You know, it's when we